has the San Francisco 49ers front office, in a stunning display of self-sabotage, just slammed shut their championship window before the season even truly begins? Because if the devastating news of Terry McLaurin's contract extension with Washington, coupled with the escalating crisis surrounding Jauan Jennings, isn't a crushing blow to their Super Bowl aspirations, then what is? The sound you heard reverberating across the Bay Area on Monday wasn't just the collective sigh of a disappointed fan base, it was the chilling echo of a dream season potentially evaporating in real time, a nightmare scenario unfolding due to what many are calling the most preventable disaster in recent NFL memory. This isn't a story of bad luck or unfortunate timing. This is about a franchise that meticulously built a Super Bowl-caliber roster everywhere except at the one position that could make or break their entire campaign: wide receiver. Picture this. You have one of the league's most innovative offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan, an elite quarterback who has proven he can win at the highest level, and a supporting cast that would make most teams envious. Yet, none of that matters when your best healthy wide receiver has fewer career receiving yards than some players accumulate in a single breakout season. The 49ers are staring down the barrel of a self-inflicted wound, a crisis born not of unforeseen circumstances, but of a passive approach to roster construction that now threatens to undermine years of meticulous planning and aggressive talent acquisition. The narrative begins with Scary Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver who wasn't just another name on the 49ers wish list. He was the missing piece, the transformative talent, who could have elevated their entire offensive identity. For the past 4 seasons, McLaurin has been the very definition of excellence and reliability in a league starved for both. Playing in every single game, consistently surpassing the 1,000-yard receiving milestone that separates good receivers from great ones, and earning 2 Pro Bowl selections. These aren't just statistics. They are the undeniable validation of the kind of consistent, high-level production that championship teams require. The cruel irony is that McLaurin possessed every quality the 49ers desperately needed. His route-running precision would have thrived in Shanahan's intricate system, creating separation against the league's best defensive backs. His contested catch ability would have provided red zone reliability, turning tight windows into crucial touchdowns. And most importantly, his legendary durability would have solved their most pressing concern: simply having someone healthy enough to consistently take the field. He was the perfect fit, a plug-and-play superstar who could have immediately addressed their most glaring weakness. What makes this miss particularly brutal is how tantalizingly close the 49ers seem to be to making it happen. The existing relationship between San Francisco and Washington had already proven fruitful, producing 2 significant trades this offseason. First, the Deebo Samuel trade in March, followed by the Brian Robinson deal just days ago. These transactions created a natural partnership, a clear pathway that should have facilitated exactly this type of blockbuster move. When Adam Peters and John Lynch completed those deals, it felt like the McLaurin transaction was an inevitable conclusion to their ongoing business relationship. Instead, 49ers fans are left to wonder what could have been, watching their dream target sign a massive 3-year, $96 million extension that removes him from the market entirely, transforming their most logical solution into an impossible fantasy. The timing of McLaurin's deal couldn't be more devastating, coming at the exact moment when San Francisco needed him most. This leads us to the Deebo Samuel trade, a move that now looks even more questionable in hindsight. Trading away a proven, versatile receiver like Samuel for minimal compensation, reportedly just a 5th-round pick, while desperately needing exactly that type of player months later, represents the kind of roster management miscalculation that can define entire seasons. The 49ers essentially created their own problem by moving Samuel, then watched helplessly as their ideal replacement signed elsewhere. It's a strategic blunder that has left a gaping hole in their receiving core, a hole they now seem incapable of filling. And if losing McLaurin wasn't devastating enough, the Jauan Jennings situation threatens to push this receiver crisis from concerning to completely catastrophic. Tim Kawakami's report that Jennings might land on injured reserve due to his ongoing contract stalemate represents a perfect storm of organizational dysfunction that could cripple San Francisco's offensive capabilities. Jennings isn't just another player in this equation. He's literally the only reliable receiver the 49ers have who can reasonably be expected to contribute at an NFL level. His potential absence would leave the team with Ricky Pearsall, a promising but unproven player with just 400 career receiving yards, as their primary aerial threat. For context, that's fewer yards than many elite receivers accumulate in their first 6 games a season. The contract dispute adds an element of preventable tragedy to this entire situation. The 49ers aren't dealing with a freak injury or an unexpected retirement. They are potentially losing their only healthy, reliable receiver because their front office couldn't reach an agreement with a player who wants to be there and contribute. It's the kind of self-inflicted wound that transforms organizational incompetence into active sabotage of championship aspirations. The injured reserve consideration creates an impossible choice for San Francisco's decision-makers. Placing Jennings on IR would free up a valuable roster spot for a team already dealing with injuries across multiple position groups, but it would also guarantee his absence for the first 4 games of the season. Those games aren't just any 4 games. They're the foundation upon which the entire season will be built, and starting that campaign without any reliable receiving options could create a deficit that proves impossible to overcome. The ripple effects of losing Jennings extend far beyond just the passing game. Defenses would be able to focus entirely on stopping the run and pressuring the quarterback, knowing that San Francisco lacks the aerial weapons necessary to make them pay for aggressive schemes. Christian McCaffrey, despite his elite talent, cannot single-handedly carry an offense when opposing defenses can predict every play call. The entire offensive philosophy of Kyle Shanahan relies on play action and misdirection, which are severely hampered without legitimate receiving threats to keep defenses honest. With McLaurin off the board and Jennings potentially unavailable, the 49ers find themselves shopping for scraps in what might be the weakest receiver market in recent memory. The remaining options read like a list of players that other teams weren't desperate enough to retain, and that should terrify anyone who cares about San Francisco's championship chances. Gabe Davis remains available as a free agent, but his inconsistent production history raises serious questions about whether he represents a solution or just another problem waiting to happen. Davis has shown flashes of brilliance throughout his career, but he's also demonstrated a maddening inability to translate talent into consistent week-to-week production. For a team that needs reliability above all else, betting on Davis feels like playing Russian roulette with their entire season. Amari Cooper presents a more intriguing option, but his availability comes with significant financial complications that highlight the 49ers' limited flexibility. Cooper's salary demands would strain an already tight salary cap situation, forcing San Francisco to make difficult decisions about other areas of their roster. The cruel irony is that their previous fiscal responsibility, which allowed them to build such a complete team, now prevents them from addressing their most glaring weakness. Then there are the Tyreek Hill rumors, which add another layer of complexity. Hill would undoubtedly solve the 49ers' receiver problems, but acquiring him would require parting with significant draft capital while taking on a massive contract. For a team that's already invested heavily in other positions, the Hill trade represents an all-in move that could either salvage their championship window or accelerate their competitive decline. More realistically, the 49ers will likely be forced to continue cycling through practice squad elevations and bargain bin signings, hoping that lightning strikes and they discover a hidden gem. This approach has failed repeatedly throughout the offseason, and there's little reason to believe that continued shopping in the same market will yield different results. The broader implications of this receiver crisis extend far beyond just the 2025 season, threatening to waste what might be the final years of an elite core that took years to assemble. The 49ers have built their roster around players who are approaching the back end of their primes, making every season without a championship a costly missed opportunity. This situation represents more than just bad luck or unfortunate timing. It's a case study in how championship windows can close due to preventable organizational failures. The 49ers had months to address their receiver needs through trades, free agency, or draft selections. Yet, they seemed content to hope that internal solutions would emerge rather than proactively solving known problems. This passive approach to roster construction stands in stark contrast to the aggressive moves that built San Francisco's competitive foundation in the first place. The same organization that made bold trades to acquire game-changing players like Christian McCaffrey now seems paralyzed by indecision when faced with similarly critical personnel decisions. While the 49ers hesitated and hoped, other NFC contenders have been actively improving their rosters and positioning themselves for playoff runs. Every day that passes without addressing their receiver shortage is another day that division rivals and conference competitors gain advantages that could prove decisive when postseason positioning is determined. The opportunity cost of this inaction could haunt the franchise for years to come. Having elite talent at quarterback, running back, tight end, and across the defense means nothing if those advantages can't be properly leveraged due to glaring weaknesses at critical positions. The 49ers are dangerously close to wasting a championship-caliber roster because they couldn't solve a problem that everyone saw coming. This McLaurin situation, compounded by the Jennings stalemate, will likely be remembered as a sliding doors moment for the franchise. The single decision that determined whether the 49ers maximized their championship window or watched it slam shut due to organizational incompetence. The clock is ticking. The options are dwindling. And San Francisco finds themselves in the uncomfortable position of needing miracles to salvage what should have been a season of legitimate Super Bowl expectations. The most frustrating part of this entire saga is how preventable it all was. The warning signs were evident, the solutions were available, and the resources existed to address the problem before it became a crisis. Instead, the 49ers chose to gamble with their championship hopes. And now, they're facing the very real possibility that their bet won't pay off. So, what's your take on this unfolding disaster, 49ers faithful? Do you think there's still hope for the 49ers to turn this around? Or have they already sealed their fate with these missed opportunities and self-inflicted wounds? Is there a move out there, a hidden gem, a desperate trade that could still save their season? Let us know your thoughts, your frustrations, and your bold predictions in the comments below. And if this breakdown captured the raw emotion and critical analysis you crave, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for all the unfiltered insights that keep you at the heart of the action.